do you feel about the combine? You spoke about it. You want to elaborate about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, and look, I'm, as we talked about, I'm not a football guy, and frankly, I don't think I'm supposed to be. I deal in contracts and scintillating things like regression analysis and looking at data and trends and TV contracts and all of these things. So I don't look at this, and I don't think any labor leader should look at a job like this as how do we preserve the game. Mm-hmm. I represent a group of workers who have really short careers, and I want to maximize their return on football. I want them to get more out of football than football gets out of them. So when I look at the combine, instead of thinking about it like football, I think about it like work. Okay, I went to a top 10 law school. I mean, I did okay. I can't imagine a world where all of my fellow students from all of the other top 10 law schools do extremely well in law school. We're rated some of the best potential lawyers in the country. Mm-hmm. We take the bar and we pass the bar, and the bar says UD and all of the hundreds of other law school students are poised to be the best lawyers in the world. But instead of you picking your law firm, here's what we're going to do. The bar has decided that instead of you picking your law firm, all of you are going to go to a certain city. And instead of, I know we passed the bar, and I know you've already graduated from law school, and all that's great. But here's what we're going to do. For 3 days, we're going to give you a bunch of law quizzes. And all of you are going to take a bunch of quizzes, and we're going to see how well you do on the law quiz. Oh, and by the way, because everybody who comes to our law firm has health care, we're going to put you through medical testing to see if you are genetically predisposed for liver disease or cancer, or if you're a woman, you might want to take maternity leave one day. And we're going to factor all that in because that impacts our healthcare cost. And after that, we will decide whether you can become a lawyer. If that happened in law or journalism or doctors or anywhere else, people would go, have you lost your mind? What are we doing? You should just take me as a potential employee based on how well I did in school. Have I passed the test? Can I do the work? Yes. The combine is the only place I know of where we now know, especially you guys who are younger than me, thanks for pointing it out. You've seen, if I asked you right now to look at the top 5 prospective draft picks, and I said, hey man, can you pull up on your phone how fast they run, how high they can jump, and give me a rundown of their physical skills for football? You could pull all that up on your phone right now, and you probably would have, 20 NFL junior videos. Everything from the guy running from the time he was in junior high school until college. Yep. You've got it. Yep. So here's what I know. Do we know how fast these guys can run? Yes. Already. We know how high they can jump. We know how much they can lift. If scouts want to know exactly how that happens and they want another second check, what do? They can go to the schools and do pro days, right? Yet, we set up this invitation-only combine where you have to be invited. And then when you show up, you have to sign a medical waiver. And they put you through the MRI machine. You get interviewed by 32 team doctors, 32 separate doctors. Then a GM sits down with you and says, I want to talk to you about your childhood. What does your mother do? What does your father do? Did you grow up in a violent culture? How were you in high school? What kind of friends did you do to hang around? All I'm saying is, why would we accept a system like that in football? And we would never accept a system like that outside of football. And so when I talk about the combine, I look at it as not a football thing, it's a worker thing. And is there a way of conducting an interview that doesn't infringe on your privacy and your medical history? Because let's not get it twisted for a second. Why are you being evaluated by a doctor? Why are you being put through an MRI? Right before you sign your first NFL contract, you have to have a physical. Yep. The physical is designed so that the doctor knows that you are physically capable of doing the work. If that happens at the end, what is this medical evaluation at the beginning? It's to decrease your draft stock. Right? I got 2 linebackers. Both of you are 6'3", 240. Both of you run a 4.4 40. Both of you can bench big time weight. You can do your squats. Both of you have a vertical lift of blah, blah, blah. How do I draw the difference between whether I'm going to pick you or you? You want to know, man, does that guy have a sign of a knee injury from high school? Does his shoulder have any sort of degenerative tissue? What's on his x-ray? What's on his MRI? Well, they both run the same thing, but which one is more likely to be injured? That is only there for one reason: to drop you from the 3rd pick of the draft to the 5th pick of the draft, from the 1st round of the draft to the 3rd round of the draft. And here's my problem with it. The combine is structured so that you can't say no. So I asked myself the question, would I want that system for my daughter? Would you want that system for your son? No. And I find it medically, professionally, and ethically intrusive. That's my thing about the combine. And apparently I've made tons of friends by So yeah, my picture is on the wall at the Indianapolis airport now with like a big slash through it. So
Not welcome.
no. No, but that's okay. My job's not about making friends.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.